Hi everybody. Welcome to the release event of mysupply 1.0. So currently we faced some technical issues and so we had to do this as a recording, and I really apologize to everybody who was just participating in our release event live, but due to audio problems we couldn't stream it directly online. So my name is Andreas Zimmermann, I'm founder of mysupply. And I'm pretty overwhelmed that so many people are interested in our work. Today, you will hear the voices of our advisory board, learn about in which cases using mysupply is very reasonable, see a demo, of course, get introduced in the way we support our customers, and finally, of course, also learn a bit about our roadmap. So today, this is a huge day for us. During the last years, our way wasn't really anything but straight. So especially finding the best talent to grow was pretty challenging. I'm really glad we managed to build a great team. Our aim is to automate the sourcing and even bring it to autonomy. Possible, it is only with really clever algorithms that learn based on AI. Automation of sourcing is driven by bridging the gap between the tender and the negotiation. So why there is such a gap? Both parts are more or less available in many tools, but they are kind of disconnected. The knowledge how to get from the tender into the negotiation is pretty unclear, and the knowledge is not in the tools. Filling these gaps drives the whole process with IT and makes the full automation for the full sourcing process possible. The bridge that gap and run automated sourcing. So this is the reason why mysupply was created. Bringing game theory into algorithms is our way of doing that. So after we introduced our approach in our MVP, we learned that our approach is in general good, but also needs a better basement as foundation of mysupply. So we decided to invest plenty of time, honestly, much more than I did expect in the beginning, but to build a really complete new framework that could build customized individual workflows easily. This was really worth it. That is important because we learned that our customers had different demands and need adjusted processes not only for each customer, but also for the different procurement categories. Also, easy interfaces to ERP and other systems, as well as documenting all the things happening in the system, became mandatory in our minds. But the most important thing, that our tool keeps being very easy for our users and they really enjoy using it, even though our algorithms in the back are pretty complex. Finally, mysupply is out as of today. We built a solution that gets our customers very intuitive and with only little effort through the sourcing. We start with an easy-to-use request that integrates supplier scouting feature based on more than 60 million supply data. mysupply comes with a TCO approach that easily makes automation for the consideration of evaluation criteria like sustainability or risks possible. We build a lot creation that is working with just one click to generate an appropriate lot. And then I would like to get to our USP. Our strategy engine suggests the best negotiation method that executes our powerful negotiations with just another click. This is the way we bridge the gap. This is the way mysupply reduces the effort and increases the savings at the same time. We are very happy to start with mysupply 1.0 today, but much more is in our agenda. You will see a brief demo of mysupply today. Please understand that we are not able to show every single detail of the features. Please contact us afterwards if you want to see a more detailed demo. We're pretty proud that Professor Bogashevsky and Klaus Pauser are experienced guides in our advisory boards and help us through this journey. Ronald will now like to address some words to you. Due to the fact that he's currently climbing, we had to record this video earlier.
Hello, everybody. I'm Ron Bogashevsky. I'm holder of the chair of industrial management here at the University of Würzburg that you can see just behind me. And some of you might know me already, so I'm active for more than 20 years in the field of e-procurement and digital solutions that support purchasing and supply chain management. So from my side, a very warm congratulations to mysupply and its product launch today. And I think this is a very big step forward, actually, in the world of strategic applications in the field of procurement and purchasing and supply chain management. So why is that so? My opinion is that the most important things, or one of the most important things in purchasing, is actually to cover the supply market as good as everybody can. So you have to know the best vendors out there that match or that are the best match for your company. And that is where it starts in order to develop a sound supply strategy. And after you found your best matches, the next task, of course, is to drill that down to a handleable shortlist that might actually cover a couple of dozens vendors still, and bring them into a process that ends in a negotiation. And here we usually have something that I would call really the core competency of the purchasers. So why do we need software to assist in this? Of course, everybody knows covering the supply markets is a huge task, so it costs a lot of time and effort. So it's normal to think about digital solutions to help you in that. But on top of that, why helping purchasers with negotiation routines? And if you think about this a little bit more, you would say, okay, on the one hand, there are so many different ways to negotiate, so many techniques around that you can actually say it's an art to be in the position or to be able to apply the best negotiation in each and every situation. And these negotiation situations could be very, very different. So you have to check about all the circumstances around, about the products, about the vendors, about the general market position, about psychology, about, well, whatever comes in, about your pressure to get the best price and the pressure on the other side to get a good price, and so on and so on. So it's a lot of factors to be considered. And I'm pretty sure that really, really well-trained purchasers are really good in doing this. However, if you are honest with yourself, you must say, okay, how many of your materials that you are responsible for can you really cover? Is it 80%, or is it 40%, or is it something in between, or maybe even only 20%? So Pareto 2080 rule that you say, okay, I cover the most valuable products I buy, but what about the rest? And that is where software comes in. So software can help you in two different kinds. So they can, on the one hand, they can make suggestions about the best negotiation technique in a specific situation. So if the software is smart enough, they give you advice in applying the right negotiation technique in this situation. And on the other hand, if there are so many materials you have to do negotiations with regarding different suppliers or vendors, then you don't have the time to do all this. And at the end of the day, you can think about automating this process by letting the software do the entire process. And that might be applicable to a certain amount of your products. And if you think it over, you might end up with the decision to say, okay, maybe I cover something like 30 to 50% and automate this entire process, and have a good advice about the other 50%, where I have a partly automatized process, and the rest I do as I always did with the really strategic products. However you do it, or every way you want to do it, you have the option to use the system that gives you advice in these things. And I think this is a very big step forward, because you're getting both. You're getting more efficient, and you have the best result possible in every specific situation. And I think this will take some time to be picked up in practice, but I'm pretty sure, and I can take that from our study we are just publishing right now, that we have a certain amount of companies, especially larger companies, but not only, that are convinced we need tools like this to make procurement both more effective and more efficient. And in this way, I think it's a big step forward for what we are doing in purchasing, and it's a great day for mysupply to launch its software suite, and I'm pretty sure that they will have a lot of success in helping companies to become better, and maybe even to help these companies to achieve better results and get really sustainable competitive advantages. So good luck, and all the best to mysupply for its solution and its product that has been launched today. Thanks a lot, and have a good day.
Thank you so much, Ronald, and be safe while climbing. Today, Klaus Pauser, our other advisory board member, is with us today. So Klaus is former lead of operations from procurement in Adidas. And so I'm very happy that you're with us today, Klaus.
So I'm happy too, Andreas. It's not only you.
Great. So I have a couple of questions where you might help me with understanding why you're doing all of this. And so I'd like to ask you, so what finally made you join our advisory board?
Oh, that's very easy, because you asked me. No, just kidding. So I was never in an advisory board before, so this was a big opportunity to be part of an advisory board. But seriously, I think it's a great honor to be in this board together with Professor Bogashevsky. For me, he's one of the, let's say, godfathers of digitization in procurement, besides some other guys like Professor Fieten, etc. So as I heard that Ron is in the team, for me, it was a decision within some seconds. The next point is that I have the feeling that I can contribute to your success and support you with my more than 40 years plus, I don't know, experience in negotiations. So all these reasons, besides some sympathy, were helping me to take this decision to be part of your board.
Okay, thank you so much. It's great that you're with us. So what is your idea? So what do you think? So why would you choose, if you were still in procurement, in operations functions, why would you choose mysupply instead or as an addition of a full suite? So what is your thoughts on this?
So I have to give some more background to that. So time changed a lot in the last years. So some years ago, as we both met the first time, I think it's 3-4 years ago at the symposium in Berlin, BME symposium, I was an ambassador for full suites, you may remember. I always talk, it has all to be in one closed platform that's better than everything else, etc., etc. Not getting lost in interfaces, complexity, and at least cost. So today, many things are easier. So it's quite more easier to bring things together. Technology allows you to combine things today, much more easier than before. That makes sense to have a look in more than one system. And especially mysupply, from my very personal point of view, seems one of the currently best solutions covering this scope. And that's the reason why I would choose mysupply definitely as an addition, not for a full suite, but for a backend suite like Ariba or SAP or something else.
Yes, thank you so much. There are a couple of studies that indicate how huge savings are sometimes using e-auctions or so. And do you have an idea why powerful negotiation types like e-auctions are not used that much in practice currently? So we have some ideas about that.
I have some ideas about that, and it's really touching my previous life as I worked at Adidas and other companies in procurement, because it was always the same. Do we want to do an auction or an RFX or whatever? Oh no, it's so complex, etc. So for me, it's I think still a respect. Sometimes it's real fear of new technologies, complexity, costs, and so on. A lot of colleagues still not believe in auctions and their opportunities. And the rest is very human. Yeah. What if the results of an auction are much better than the own negotiation results before? What does it mean for your reputation? What does it mean for your job at the end? So this is still in the heads of some procurement colleagues, I think, or what the feedback is I get. But I can assure that this is just a feeling, not more. And I would like to encourage people really to look into the solutions and the details to get rid of any fears and concerns.
All right, thank you. So final question that I have. So maybe you can give us your thoughts on how the future of sourcing is looking like. So will this just mainly be driven by specialists or maybe by tools, or how do you see maybe that hybrid versions of this might look like in the future? So maybe you can give us your thought on this as well.
It's really a difficult question, and it's a big question. So I cannot look into the future, but regarding our job as procurement guys, as purchasing people, so I would like to challenge every statement what is promising us that the strategic purchasing roles are more and more disappearing. And this is what I hear outside by digitalization. So first is the operations, second the strategic guys, etc. So I would like to challenge this. I'm totally convinced that if we digitize and partly automate our processes in a professional and in a responsible way, we will even make them more demanding, our jobs. We will keep our jobs. We will really make them more demanding and more interesting, and hopefully as well better paid at the end.
Thank you so much, Klaus, for joining today. Thank you so much for being with us. Thank you. I would now like to hand over to my lovely colleague Lilly, who is then going to tell us a bit more about the usage of mysupply.
Thank you, Andreas. Thank you, Klaus, also for this insights, and Ronald, who is not with us, but for this amazing video. So yeah, my name is Lilly, and I'm part of the business development team at mysupply. Before to walk you through the demo, let me just try to answer some of the questions that you're probably asking yourself. To begin with, it is very important to underline the key factors of savings that are possible with our tool. To achieve higher efficiency by cutting repetitive tasks through automatization, and to prepare and execute powerful negotiations in order to have a great deal outcome. For which kind of product has mysupply being built for? Well, the answer here is quite simple. Every product which could be easily specified. What does that really mean? We don't put a limit on direct or indirect spend on materials or services. Our technology has the capability to develop individual workflows. So, for example, specific to the category or to approval processes. Not even the market situation you are in plays a significant role. So even in a seller's market, you might use mysupply and its sourcing workflows because our system intelligence adapts automatically to the market situation. In the last years, we were working together with the companies in order to test our MVP, just to be sure that we have a product market fit and that we get the right priorities to our product management team. We built a resilient relationship and looking forward to go to the next steps with our existing pilot customers. They are mainly medium-sized companies out on if segments like automotive, FMCG, engineering, and services. In addition to that, we currently develop business with large entities as well in the frame rather to complement their existing procurement IT landscape. We want to say a huge thank you to the companies Steinbeiß, Hoya, and IMF Bruns, who have been part of our journey so far and have helped us so much improving our tool. But how to transform these buzzwords to something really concrete which helps procurement? So in the next couple of minutes, my colleague Jan will give you a short glimpse into the solution. Jan, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much for the introduction, Lilly. I right now have the honor to guide you through our tool and show you in the demo some of the highlights which we were focusing on. And yeah, would be very happy to have a follow-up with you in a one-on-one demo. But at this very moment, I will first share the screen with you. So what you see here in the next steps, you might have seen similar already in other tools, but no worries there. You get a little later the clue why we do all of that. After a very quick registration, you as a buyer directly can type in your new request. We cover it in a workflow to make it possible to save the request or build new process for specific product groups out of it. This time here, in this situation, we will use the standard RFP workflow. We would represent a buyer from an engineering company and have demand for various types of screws and nuts. That would be a good example of an easily specifiable product. The details for this request, like required product types, quality, delivery place, etc., might come directly out of your ERP system, but it can work standalone as well as it is cloud solution. So I type in here the product specification and the internal number, which might be already a given one, and our solution guides you through the further process. I click on Create the Workflow, and in the next step, in this context of the workflow, I create the request. Now I have to add the request title for the suppliers, which is the annual order, so the frame contract, which I would like to tender at this stage. So I click on Start the Guide, and you see here right now the option that I can add the relevant items, especially if I have multiple of them. We can complement your existing IT procurement software as our front end is completely separated from our back end. So we can also integrate this data with an API directly from you. That would allow an even more automated approach and should further save time for you. In this case, I just type in the example here. It's one type of screws. I add the quantity as well, and the unit is a piece. I add another item here, another quantity for this item, and again, the unit type. I click right now on continue, but before, just would like to mention, for sure, could not be only the separation between the different product types. It could be also different delivery locations, for example. So in this step, I would like to mention again that you see here a further part of the process to specify the product which you need. And in this context, we are using evaluation criteria, optional for you, as a bonus or malus for your awarding decision. Our system is built in a manner that it could reach a total cost of ownership approach. By doing so, we can include external data like specific sustainability score, or you can include data like quality. I'll do it right now. So I add here right now the quality, and I would weight it in this case like 5%. I will add another criterion like the sustainability score. Oh, sorry, this is the sustainability score, and add the specific weight for this. I would take 10% here. So the price is left with 85% in the awarding decision. In the next step, I can adjust the delivery time. For example, this could be here right now a time frame. Just an example, as it is a new contract. And I can choose the dedicated Incoterm, for example, DDP, or the terms of payment 30 days net. In this step right now, we are in the last section of creating the request. So we can finally upload documents. This could be, for example, your general terms. I use as a description here as well. I save the file so it's uploaded and visible for all of your suppliers. After that, I add a description as a summary from the request and can finish the guide accordingly. I have the option to check it manually again, let's say the summary here, and yeah, go to the next step and invite the suppliers. But before I invite the suppliers, I need to define whether I want to make it, let's say, a public request or a private one. So you can include the suppliers which are already registered in mysupply, or you have the option to keep them outside out of a potential confidential demand. I skipped the time frame setting, and yeah, after publishing it, let's say in defining the frame, I can use this link, for example, to invite dedicated suppliers, so they can, after quick registration as well, also directly provide the offer. Or I can use something else here from mysupply, which Andreas already mentioned. So in order to prepare a real powerful negotiation, it is important to have a substantial shortlist. In case, especially if you have a limited supplier base for the specific category, and in case the supplier is somehow substitutable, you can use our real-time supplier search to find additional suppliers. It has a backbone of these 60 million suppliers in various continents. So let's try it out. I will type in here screws and search in Europe for suppliers of this product. In the meanwhile, our tool provides some basic information about the suppliers, which allows you to visit their homepage, contact them directly out of our tool so they can follow the invitation link directly. This saves time on the one hand, but more importantly, it provides you more options with regard to the negotiation strategy and its potential savings. So I go to the next step in our demo system and provide you the overview, what you can see when the suppliers were already, let's say, providing an offer, and it's the evaluation. As I mentioned, we follow the TCO approach. Within this process step, you can either use data which is already evaluated automatically, or manually define the quality, for example, together with your internal customer. You can judge the suppliers and dismiss them already at this stage. For example, for this supplier who has a bad sustainability score, which you can also see here, or change manually if necessary. Based on this decision and on this evaluation you did here, you can go on to the next step. This is the selection. In this overview, you see on the left side all the different product types and their amount. From the other graph, you can take the price offer for the total amount of prices per item. You can see that this data is not a good order yet, so it is not possible to directly define lots. Some suppliers provided an offer for every item and some not, like this one. With just one click on Start Lot Algorithm, our lot creation supports you to clean up data further and allows you to prepare a real powerful negotiation. It sorts available items in a way that facilitates for the supplier and for you as a buyer to agree on a good deal. from the perspective of a supplier, that means even if they can't provide every item, they might win some items which are more competitive still. From the perspective of a buyer, that means even if you prefer to have one supplier for all of your items, our algorithm provides you an alternative lot bundling based on the current market situation. This allows you to save time on the one hand, but also allows you a very good negotiation result, as it is possible to focus on competitive items per suppliers. For sure, this is only one scenario, but we'll be very happy to give you further insight into our approach separately. And for sure, if you want to change our recommendation here manually, you are welcome to do so. We want to support you in a way that it's your decision whether you want to prefer this automation or have still this personal influence here. In the next step, you see the overview about the different negotiation lots. We have, as you've seen from the selection page, 2 of them here. And this is right now really the core of mysupply. So far, I showed you some process steps, and these were already enough for our tool to fully use it for our system intelligence, so it can provide you in a kind of disruptive way to save the time through automation, but also prepare a negotiation which is powerful in various offer market situation. And this is exactly what Ronald means in the beginning when he's talking about the art of negotiation. We use algorithmic game theory developed with professionals such as game theory consultants, researchers, and procurement practitioners. By clicking on Start Strategy Engine, our tool recommends you the optimal negotiation method for this specific lots in the current actual market situation. You can follow the advice of the negotiation method and let it negotiate automatically the next day, as it stands here. Or for sure, you can adjust it to your needs. You right now, afterwards, just have to click on Publish Negotiations, and the suppliers automatically receiving the emails from our system that guide them through the bidding process themselves. In case of questions, we are there for you as a customer, but for sure for the suppliers as well. In this case, for sure, this is only one potential option, but we'll be pleased to explain you more in a direct meeting or call with us. This is basically all which I can share with you in this limited time from our system. But I'm very pleased to announce you to my colleague Emilia, who's in charge for customer success management.
Thank you very much, Jan. Hello, everybody. My name is Emilia, and as Jan said, I am the customer success manager at mysupply. That means that my main mission is to make sure that our customers achieve their goals. Working very closely with the pilot customers is the focus of my activities, and also having a link to our product management team to ensure that data is flowing in the correct way. So let's look right now at what happens when you join mysupply. Because of the tool's very intuitive design, which I hope you have been convinced by the demo that Jan provided, you are guided through different step-by-steps to create your process, which means that actually you are ready to start using the tool the moment that you have an account with us. If you have need for further help, you can reach to us because we provide user support. And also we are building a knowledge base that will have a lot of articles and how-to guides to make sure that you are on the right step at every moment. But what is next? Your customer success journey at mysupply is just starting, and it will be highly customized. First of all, we provide an individual onboarding plan that we co-create with the customer. This means that from the beginning, we are going to make sure that we have the right focus with our onboarding, that we understand your specific user case, and make sure that we are focusing on the features that are most important to you at the right time. But that is not all. The best part about joining us as a pilot customer is actually the opportunity to help us prioritize our roadmap. What does this mean? So as I said, as part of my job, I am the link to the product management team. And we are very interested to hear your feedback, your insight for any features, any integrations, or any customized workflows that you might need. And all of that information is taken and brought back to our product development team, where it helps us prioritize what to do next. In this sense, you are co-creating the future of mysupply together with us, and you have a front row seat to all the innovation that is to come. Speaking of innovation and what is to come for mysupply, I'm happy to hand over now to my colleague Gabriel, who can tell you more about this. Gabriel?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Emilia, for introducing me. I will go on to introduce here to the roadmap and what we have planned for our future. So to introduce where we have come from. So as you have seen in the demo, we have certain steps which we have taken already, which is, for example, introducing the workflows, which can be specified or customized to any demand you as a customer might have. For example, to mention here are approval processes, variations in the offer collection, and so on. Our goal is here, of course, to unify everything in our platform in a unified format of every offer. The next steps, as we have seen, is the lot creation to find out who to negotiate with and who to sort with which products, and then to go on. And then the negotiation is like finding the right solution, the right negotiation for the situation you are in, the competitive situation you are in. And now after the release, I want to pinpoint two particular features. So we are looking at the TCO pricing, as was mentioned, and also we want to increase the automation and so of the sourcing process and looking into an autonomous sourcing in the future. But let's start with the TCO pricing. So what we are talking here is, well, it's not always the purchase price. It's of course also other conditions, which might be warranty, risk, shipping costs, or quality criteria, which might be completely different from product group to product group. And of course also sustainability, which is rising in importance every month, basically. So, and explicitly on the sustainability, I want to mention here that we, with our supply text network, are trying to find the right data. We are connecting to each other to find the right approaches. And for example, for the sustainability, we are also cooperating with the Yarrow Institute for Sustainability and Digitalization to find out what is going on in the procurement area right now, what is coming in the future, and what is important right now. For example, we have been part of a study there to ask over 100 procurement experts to, well, what is moving, what is going on, what is important in the area of sustainability, and therefore deriving consequences from that. And the other topic which I mentioned, so automation, of course, it's step by step, as we know it from the real life in other categories like automotive, autonomous driving, and so on. It's step by step. And we are also doing it step by step here. So we are trying to, first of all, identify categories where we can achieve a quick automation. And in that, we also want to identify steps, for example, in your procurement workflow, in your procurement process, and then start to automate these steps. And when we achieve that, as a follow-up, we can, for example, talk about replenishments, which might be coming from an ERP system, so that if you have a replenishment in the system, it automatically gets transported to mysupply, where you automatically have, well, the request, which gets sent out to the suppliers. You don't have to do anything. You just receive the offers, and then we can negotiate them on mysupply. And in the future, we can even go one step further, that based on your settings, which we went into the process, new tenders are automatically generated, negotiated, and you just receive the results based on our algorithms, and our automation here. And the key point here is, in fact, the hands-off principle, so that you can just, well, take your hands off the keyboard and see the results, and you just get them back. And yeah, that's a quick overview into where we are going right now, where we are developing into the next month. And so, well, who is doing that? Of course, I want to show the team, and Andreas will say some words to our team.
Thank you so much, Gabriel, for this overview about our roadmap. As I said, much more is to come. I will try to take this opportunity to give a little overview of both the core of our team, which is next to me is Lucas on the slide, taking care especially for the hiring of great people, but also working as a Scrum Master in the team. Jan, working especially in business development, also for a longer time, getting a lot of knowledge from customers to improve our product. Lilly, based in Sofia, recently joined as business development manager. Then we have Gabriel, who's doing the product owning of the product, doing the product management, and was in the core of the development. And Christian also taking care for the product already a long time ago as a backend developer, and who built everything up from scratch. Then we have Chris, who's taking care for the front end and made a really lovely design. Then we have Michael as a solution architect, doing a great job in building up the system. We have Kilian as a UX designer, who is, of course, very much in how to design every button in the system and how really to adjust it in a manner where the customer or the user has the best usage of the system. Emilia joining for mysupply, just especially, of course, for our release to have a great customer success experience and really working very much on building up a knowledge base. And so it's great to have her in the team. Katerina also with us a long time already, working in marketing. Ilyana also working in marketing and made an amazing job to get also the next steps with mysupply. And of course, the financial backbone is with Kerstin. She's working as an accountant and taking care for the financial things. So this is about the core team, but there are much more people involved in all of this. So of course we had a certain journey, and I want to thank everybody who is not named right now, especially also our first customers. So their usage of the MVP helped us very much to shape what we right now have in mysupply 1.0. So thank you again very much to your trust here. Finally, thank you so much for seeing this video. We are very happy to start today. Please reach out to sales@mysupply.de. You will see the address very briefly soon, to get in touch with Jan and Lilly if you're interested in starting with a pilot or want to see more, want to see a demo. Just get in touch with Jan and Lilly. Thank you so much for joining today, and have a great time, have a great summer, and stay safe. Bye-bye.